Okay, we're rolling. All right, good. Hello. My name is Dr. Autism, and I'm here to talk about my son, T0 and calcium. Now, there's been a lot of animosity online towards my son, and it's been very difficult for me to see. You see, I as a man am unable to conceive. I have what many of you have online dubbed. I'm not exactly sure how to say, but it's a very narrow urethra, and a lot of you have been comparing me to King of the Hill. And I live in Massachusetts. That's very far away. It's on the other side of the world from Texas, and I feel like that's very unfair. But my son was birthed from me basically procuring what little sperm I feel like that's highly inappropriate. What little ejaculate that I have with a woman who was able to donate her eggs to me. Unfortunately, she had a problem. I'm not exactly sure how to express this, but she was unable to walk, and although I was able to procure one of her eggs, my son was unfortunately born partially handicapped, but I was able to come up with a way to save him. Many of you have seen Oprah, and many of you have seen the man who had lots of colloidal silver in his body, and as you know, silver will turn your skin blue. I was able to inject copious amounts of colloidal silver into my son's body. Now, yes, it caused problems with his ability to behave both as a normal human being and look like a normal human being. But unfortunately, he got a lot of heat. There was a lot of heat online from the way that he acted, and that is partially my own fault. Now, he got a lot of heat from a man who I don't know exactly his name, but he has no face, and he has 4 stars, and I don't think that's very nice of you to show up online with no face. I have a face. My son has a face. And yes, he got into a lot of problems, but you need to show your face in order to be a real individual online. Now, many of you saw that man from Canada who came and pretend this is Canada's flag. He came down to fight my son. And yes, my son is partially responsible for calling him out, but please hear me out. My son was exposed to lots of videos. I wanted him to be the best individual that he could be. He had to watch, and this is partially my fault, he had to watch a lot of, I don't exactly know how to put this. He watched 147 parts of Vice City. Because when I looked up machismo online, I can't use Google. The internet is aware, Google is aware of my projects, of creating individuals from effectively nothing. He watched 147 parts of Grand Theft Auto Vice City by an individual known as Darkside Phil. Now, when I put this on, I didn't Google. I looked it up on various other websites. What the epitome of charisma, what the epitome of manliness was. And unfortunately, Darkside Phil showed up. And I wish to sue Darkside Phil for problems. He has caused my son to become ridiculously overbearing. Now, when I exposed my son, T0 and calcium, to 147 parts of Grand Theft Auto Vice City by Darkside Phil, it turned him into a swearing, over-the-top, know-everything I can't say man, but individual. It turned him into somebody who wanted to cause 100,000 problems in the world. He lashed out on both me and my wife, well, not really my wife, but the woman who donated her eggs, and my mother. And the problem was, while these Dark Side Phil videos were on, my son, T0 and Calcium, was exposed to a lot of World Wrestling Federation. My mother lives with both me and my, well, not my wife, but she lives in the upstairs, and she likes to watch a lot of WWF and a lot of movies with both John Cena and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I don't know how to draw him. That's probably what he looks like. And the problem is that while he was in stasis, while he was in this chamber with all of these berries and everything while he was incubating, there were these movies on, and there were these videos by Darkside Phil on in the background, trying to instill these values into his psyche. And instead of turning him into a good human, instead of turning him into a real man, it turned him into an individual that hated, that went online and used words that I can't even begin to use now. I don't swear. I've never swore in my entire life. And my son, T0 and Calcium, went on and used these words many times. He had some other word, and I don't know where he got it. It started with an M and ended with an Israel. And it scared me. It scared both me and my mother. Now, one of the other issues was that when he was exposed to these videos by Darkside Phil, I had no idea that he was actually from the dark side. There are demons in this world. There are devils. There are evil spirits. And when you look up Darkside Phil, you will find these evil beings infecting you. Now, when you're exposed to 147 parts of Vice City, it turns you into an unbelievable... Well, I can't say the word. It's too much for me. But my son, he was intended to be the perfect man. And many of you know that colloidal silver will mess with blood results. When you put blood laced with colloidal silver into a centrifuge, it will cause problems. Many people, including Tara LaWosa, she will become very confused when there's lots of colloidal silver in blood. And nobody understands that my son, he's just trying to do what he can. He doesn't have the assets. I wasn't able to, I don't know how to put this, but I wasn't able to give him, I can't draw that. That's rude. I wasn't able to give him a normal birth. And I tried as much as I could with science, with a loving wife, not a wife, but a woman who I was able to procure eggs from, to give him every advantage that I could. And I wish that both the Canadian man and the man with no face would just leave him alone. He's my son, after all. And I just hope that he can finally go back to talking about wrestling. It's all he knew. All he got was videos of Phil and videos of Dwayne The Rock Johnson and I don't know, how do you spell it, John Cena. My mother was watching the Fred movie over and over and over again, and John Cena, of course, made his cameo, and it all went right here. He doesn't know anything else. He doesn't have anything else. That's his life, right there. And I just hope that those of you who would wish to ridicule him would just stop. He's my son. I grew him. I did all I could for him, and many of you hate him, and I just wish that you would just stop. Just please stop.